2. So that is f of negative 2. That is that inside value, f of negative 2. And then that goes on the inside, so it's f of negative 2 again. And that is the same value, which is negative 2. Okay. So moving on to question number 4. And we're looking for f of x is greater than 0. That means that we want everything above, f of x is less than 0, I'm sorry, so we want everything below the x-axis, and that looks like it's going to be that part of the graph. That's that part of the graph right there. And it looks like it's going to be that part of the graph right here, okay? So we need to write out some intervals that will show that those are what makes that true. F of x is less than 0. It looks like we're going to start at negative 3, and that's going to go to that value right there. If you remember from our roots, was negative 2/9. It's going to be negative 2/9 right there. And we want it less than 0, so that's going to be an open bracket. So it's going to be in union with this root here, which was, if you remember from the problem before, from question number 2, it's also going to be an open bracket because we want it less than 0. That's going to be root 10 plus 2, and that's going to go to this last number, which was 6. And that will close that bracket. That is the two intervals where it is below the x-axis. And then the last question, number 5. And we have h of x is equal to f of x plus p. We want the p value that will give us exactly one root. So according to my graph, and we're going to take what the transformation of the p is, we're going to move this graph up or down. The p, depending on what the p is going to change it from going up or going down. So right now we have two roots. If we move it down to here, to this value, then we will start to have one root. So if you can see from the graph that we want to have this interval right here, that would give us only one root. And then again below here, we have this interval right here. That section right there would also just give us one root, not including that point. And then as we set up here, it was up to here. It was not including this point, because that is included there. So right through there, that would be 2 points still, but above that would be 1 point, and then up until here would be 0 points, because that is an open, it was an open point there. So we need to write out the intervals from here to here, and from here to here. Okay? So we want P, in this case, we want P to be greater than whatever that output was right there, and we wrote it down there. We want it to be greater than 3 root 5 minus 5, and then we want it to be less than this value right here, which was 5. And then for the section down here is we want P to be greater than the value, the last value right here, which is negative 5. And in this case, we could have it equal that number, because at that point it's still just one root. And then we're going to go up to this value right here, which is negative 3. We want it to be less than, but not equal to, because that would be 2 points, less than negative 3. And that's your two inequalities that will give you the values that will give you just one root for that problem. Okay. And that's it for this problem. I will post problem 2 shortly after this. All right, I hope this helps.